and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 639. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games, brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. Matt, it's the final game of the year. Our last game ranking episode, 2025 of season 13, and it all comes to a head with Fighting Force. More on Fighting Force throughout the episode. We're going to talk about the game, our time spent with it then and now. Of course, we'll rank it on the list. If you've not seen the list, thefreecheese.com/the list is where you can go to look at all of the video games we've ranked so far. Before we dive into that, Matt, what is your favorite action movie from the 1990s?
Action movie for the 1990s. There's a better answer than this, but James Bond's coming to mind.
Oh, which one? The Golden Eye?
Probably like Pierce Brosnan, like Tomorrow Never Dies, Golden Eye.
Yeah.
I think those are within the 90s. There's a better answer though that I can't. It's escaping me.
Die Hard 3 is pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Die Hard's up there.
I don't think I watched it much in the 90s, but having more recently watched Gone in 60 Seconds, that one's pretty solid. Not a bad time. I don't know. Something about that, like, everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like, the stakes are what they are. It's not... Someone might die, but it doesn't really matter because it's all for the betterment of the main character in the end, right? But yeah, that whole era of movies, I feel like, inspired a lot of Fighting Force, or the ideas behind Fighting Force.
Speed's a good one. That's a good honorable mention.
Speed is also a good one.
Independence Day. Now that I've finally pulled up 90s action movies, there are some selections for sure. Oh, bro, The Matrix 99? Oof.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the answer. That might be the answer, then.
That changed a lot for everybody, right? You also had Blade back in the 90s,
Yeah, I'm
right?
seeing Blade. I don't think I've ever seen the first Blade.
I didn't see it until like 3 years ago. I watched it.
Funny enough, the only one I've seen was, I think, the third one. Why would I have Ryan Reynolds in it?
Yeah, there was 3. It's not an action movie, but I'll throw one out for Joel Schumacher. Everyone should watch Falling Down. Have you seen Falling Down?
Don't think so.
With Michael Douglas. Everyone would do better to watch more Michael Douglas, I would say. Falling Down's great. Guy just has a bad day, Total Recall, technically the 90s, 1990. That one's also solid, if you haven't seen that one. We're in that back bit of Arnold's career before he moved into politics. Which, yeah, that one's been here and gone. Shout out to Small Soldiers.
Oh, God.
Which also had a PS1 game. Stay tuned for that.
Oh.
I guess. No, Fighting Force. That's what we're here to discuss today. Developed by Core Design, published by Eidos Interactive, released for the PlayStation and later Nintendo 64. First out in North America on PS1, November 5th, 1997. Back of the box. Take it outside. Fighting Force delivers unparalleled action and tons of attack moves in a fully progressive 3D environment. Smash through an anti-tank barricade, pick up a rocket launcher, and torch incoming enemies, or knock over a vending machine or fuel tanker to find hidden weapons. Choose from 2 male or 2 female characters, each with different skills and strengths. Play alone or in co-op mode to defeat your enemies. Dozens of moves per character. 7 action-packed levels in 22 different stages. Pick up weapons like rocket launchers, shotguns, pipes, guns, grenades, and more. The rocket launcher must have really, stood out to them. They had to make sure they put it on the back of the box twice.
Yeah.
Real big selling point there. And then we got some fine screenshots of the... I do like the screenshot selection. They made sure to show you 4 screenshots, action shots, and each of them is one of the different characters. That's a nice touch. We've seen some bad box screenshots before where they do like I don't know, like 2 of the exact same, like knowing after playing it, you're looking at it and you're like, it's the same scene, or that's the same area of the game. You couldn't have shown me something from chapter 9. Anybody get to chapter 9? But Fighting Force does it right. Core design. What do you know about core design, Matt?
I know core design eventually folded into I should know this. I did know this. Oh, why? It's fallen away from me.
I think it might have been just Eidos that it folded into. Maybe. But Core was the ones...
Rebellion.
Rebellion. And then who's Rebellion? Who'd they become?
I think they... Eidos announced that independent developer Rebellion Developments had acquired Core Design's assets and staff, while the Core brand and intellectual property, including Tomb Raider, remain in Eidos' possession. Under the new banner Rebellion, the company went on to work for several titles, and then they shuttered.
Well, I'll be.
Yeah, they were called Rebellion Derby, specifically.
Well, that stinks, because yeah, they made the Tomb Raider. I'm not sure if you remember the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
Among other things. And this is sort of post Tomb Raider. This, I think, is also post Tomb Raider 2, or maybe 2's like in development simultaneously. And they put together Fighting Force. Do you know any of the background of Fighting Force?
Yes, I do.
Wise? Oh yeah, you want to educate the children?
Originally, Core wanted to work on this, work on a beat 'em up on the Sega Saturn, and they wanted to brand it Streets of Rage 4.
Yes.
To which I think I don't know. I guess all the details are there, but Sega ultimately said no. And then,
from what I've seen on that specifically, Sega has said no for various reasons depending on the reporting. Some people report that Sega said no because they were making their own Streets of Rage, others because they would never make a Streets of Rage again, others because I forget what, there was another thing I read that Core wanted to make it multi-platform and put it out on PlayStation as well as Saturn, and Sega was definitely against that because they were struggling to sell Saturns, and they didn't want one of their core titles to hit a rival platform, which I think makes
sense. It checks out.
Yeah.
This game did start out multi-platform, and then Core started to see the emergence of the PlayStation, and then shifted all development to PlayStation.
Yeah, and then it would only be later that it came to PC in the PAL region, but not in North America. And then it came to N64 a little while, I think a year or two after. release, but
About
PS1
2.
was the lead. Was it 2 years?
About 2.
Yeah.
June 99 in NA, then PAL 19 or December 1999.
So yeah, we got it first here on PS1, and that's where we played it for this. What do you remember about Fighting Force when I added this to the list? What is your memory of Fighting Force? A year ago, we're looking at this stuff, and I'm like, hey, guess what you're playing next year?
So I remember the exact, not the exact day, obviously, but like the vivid memory in my mind of buying 2 games from a Best Buy nearby. In my hand, going to the register, and those games were, with green, Greatest Hits along the spine, Fighting Force, and Final Fantasy VII.
Love that. We know one of those was a winner.
No, but I also remembered, this somehow, this was, I don't know if it was a friend's game or if it was a demo. I don't think it was a demo disc, but you know, like some games had like those demos that led in to it, like it would take you to like a hub page with the demos or like a video, like a trailer,
Yes.
and then you click on the game. So this, I don't remember the game, just surprisingly enough, but like you had this was a demo, and then like Soul Reaver Legacy of Kain was a demo.
Yes.
I think there was like 2 videos, maybe like a Crash Bandicoot Warped was also on this. Maybe confusing my demo disc, but I remember playing it as a kid and like kind of like liking it, like the whole beat 'em up aspect of it. That's why I got it when I saw it. And then yeah, I played it as a kid. I just remember it being hard as nails. And it kind of being just like kind of clunky, but that was more so like the clunkiness was like me remembering it with my new, like, well, not new, but with like 25 plus more years of experience playing video games on top of what I remembered on this game. So yeah, to say I was pessimistic kind of going into replaying this would not be a an unfair statement.
Well, and me too, even though I was the one that added it, but I had I don't know if I played the PS1 version or the N64 version first. I don't know if we owned it or if we just rented it. I can't remember at all. But I remember playing it a bunch with my brother and liking it a good bit. Like enough where it was like, oh yeah, that game. You know what I mean? Like not like, oh dude, Fighting Force, but just like, oh yeah, I remember that one. And then when I had a PSP, I remember it was like 2012 because it was after the Vita came out. And I'm looking through the PlayStation Store, and they've got this for $5.99, and I'm building out my digital back catalog of all of the PS1 classics you can buy. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta have Fighting Force. How could you not have Fighting Force in your collection? And I picked it up and had a terrible time at 1 or 2 in the morning on a PSP playing this. So I was not really thinking this would hold up playing it this time around. So I was intrigued to see like what happens with a new approach playing it in 2025. I think describing this as a promised sequel to Streets of Rage is about as good of an introduction as you can get to the game in terms of like what the game is. Like if you know Streets of Rage or Final Fight or any classic 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up brawler kind of thing, it's the same thing, just put into 3D. The one thing I like about this game is that, yeah, they did start working on the project, kind of like pitched it to Sega. Sega had no interest in making it a Streets of Rage game. There's an old EGM article preview for this game, and they point out that the preliminary sketches for the characters as well as the overall storyline were both written by Mark Silvestri. I'm sorry, I think they spelled it wrong. They wrote Silvestri. I thought it was Silvestri. But you should know him. It's Mark Silvestri. I believe he's the creator of The Darkness.
Oh, all right.
And he founded Top Cow Comics. He's like their... When all those folks from the 90s were tired of getting bad contracts at Marvel and DC, they broke out and did their own stuff. So he was one of the originals that started Image Comics, if you remember that story, where Jim Lee went there, Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane. And then he broke out and made Top Cow. And yeah, he did The Darkness and Witchblade from a Witchblade heads out there. But yeah, and then he also apparently designed the characters and came up with the story for this. So there you go. Comic book connections. But I think I like the fact you can pick between 4 characters. Nice even split. The characters themselves, you've got Hawk Manson. You know the characters' ages? I've got them here. I'm pop quiz.
I know the one's a teenager, but I don't know about all of them.
Yeah. Alana is a teenager. Hawk Manson, age 26. Do we have... Okay, so no blood type on these. Yeah, he's age 26, 6'2", 196 pounds, blonde with blue eyes, 36-inch biceps he's got. Yeah, anyway. He's got an IQ of 187. Hawk is described as a vigilante with a good heart. He wants to do good for the community, but often won't admit it. Alana McKendrick is 17 with an IQ of 240. Some could call her immature, but don't let her bubblegum fool you. There are rumors that she has special powers of some kind. Ben Smasher Jackson, which I think in the game he's just referred to as Smasher, right?
Yes.
He's 29 with an IQ of 106. And his character description says 2 words: big dummy. He's also drawn here with kind of like a slicked back mullet situation going on. Which in the final game, he's just fully bald, right?
It appears so. Or like a very tight shaved head.
Yeah. But this,
Yeah.
he's got hair, like, his hair looks as long as mine, but kind of pushed back. And Mace Daniels, 21, IQ of 200. It says, with her incredible fighting skills, she's easily as strong as any man. Not only does she know how to use her fists, she also... ... It just trails off. There's nothing else on the page.
Okay.
And I don't think there was another page to that article.
Okay.
Fighting Force, coming to you in 1997. And then we have a 5th character, Dr. Zhang, who is our main villain of the game, who believes that the world will end in the year 2000. And the game takes place after the year 2000, where the world did not end. So Dr. Zhang, mad that he was not correct in his vision, decides to make the vision true by poisoning the world. The EGM article had a nice call out too, that he's inspired by Heaven's Gate. If you remember Heaven's Gate, aka the Kool-Aid folk of the 90s. Yeah, this says he's a Heaven's Gate inspired madman with a very strong sexual desire, plans on ending the world himself since his premonition didn't come true. He plans on polluting the entire world with LSD. Eventually, everyone will die and his apocalyptic forecast will come true. So there's that. And we take on any one of these 4 in the squad to go try and stop Dr. Zhang. I think I hit everything we have in the setup here. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, it's a brawler, but translated into the 3rd dimension. Now, knowing what I know of you, I feel like you are not historically a fan of a beat 'em up brawler type game. Is that a fair assumption?
I mean, I don't like seek them out. I think I typically kind of get a little just kind of bored, for lack of a better term, with them, because they kind of just get samey. A lot of just kind of mashing the same buttons. Now I know there's combos and stuff that you can go into, and it's more for the co-op experience, I think, than anything else. But yeah, I think that would be a fair assessment.
Is there one that you feel like you do like, or one that stands out as like a good example of when you go back to play?
I mean, nostalgia always says The Simpsons, because I just remember going to a Chuck E. Cheese and hammering away at a Simpsons arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
I did. I think I like some of the newer stuff that they're doing with like the Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. I think that stuff looks cool.
I've been playing that the Marvel one that just came out, and if you liked the Ninja Turtles one, I think you would like the Marvel one.
I didn't play a lot of Castle Crashers either, but I was kind of vibing with Castle Crashers for a little bit.
I mean, obviously, Streets of Rage would be a big one for me. Any of those 3 on the Genesis were good. I've played a bit of 4. I don't think I ever actually beat 4, which was done out of house by Sega. Another more recent one was the Dragon's Crown, not the Dragon, just Dragon's Crown, but Vanillaware. And one we've got on the list. Do you remember the one we've got on the list?
Beat 'em up?
Yeah. Don't feel bad. I forgot about it too. I guess it's not. I don't know. Who?
Cliffhanger?
I guess that kind of counts too. Yeah. I was thinking of X-Men 2, Clone Wars.
Oh, I consider that more of a platformer, but I can see the beat 'em up tag in that as well.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think that's a fair assessment. But there is also that old classic X-Men arcade game alongside the Simpsons one.
Yeah,
that one was
played that one a lot too. Yeah.
There's a lot of those too. If you like any of the like Marvel stuff, I think Capcom has a lot of them in that new Capcom Marvel collection thing they put out. They've got like the Punisher one. A couple others. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, these are fun. I think they're more fun when you're playing with people, because they do get a little repetitive. They do get a little boring. And I think you can just have more fun joking around and hanging out rather than just like the strategy of the game. I think one thing Fighting Force does well is there's a couple branching path opportunities. So, you have the ability to kind of replay and see something different, even if you're playing solo. But yeah, not a... They do. You're doing basically the same thing forever until it's over. Which made sense for the arcade, right? Because you're like, let me pump a quarter in, play a level, that kind of thing. When they come home, they've got to be tweaked a bit. And this one being developed kind of for the ground up has a different vibe to it. Well, how do you think Fighting Force compares to some of the good 2D brawlers?
I mean, I think it does the thing where you have character select. Most they have a pretty similar move set, besides like maybe a couple things that sets them apart. Some different speed and power stats going on between the characters. So I think in that aspect, it's kind of cool. I think the first 2 stages of this really encapsulate the level design in a 3D space of a beat 'em up. Where you're moving through the level and you kind of stop and you take on a bunch of enemies, and then this game doesn't really give you the blinking arrow to go right, but you end up going forward.
Well.
Yeah, and then you just kind of just kind of keep going, and then yeah, the enemies kind of get a little harder, get different varieties, sometimes just a different color, different skin.
Yeah.
The health bars show up. So I think it does like the core base stuff of what I would expect in a beat 'em up, like pretty well.
Yeah. A lot of dudes named Knife.
Yeah. Yeah, not quite the Batman Forever name and scheme.
No, nothing can really get that good, but still a lot of good. I didn't write it down because the one time I was playing it, I didn't have my phone near me to jot it down. But there was one guy's name in like there's that one shot where it's really early. It might be like stage 2 or something, where you kind of go into that hallway and the camera like pans down, and you're there, and like once you kind of clear the area out, you have to like punch a wall on the side to get
You're in like
through.
that lobby area, right?
Yes, yeah. That there's a guy in there that I forget. He had a really good name, and I don't remember it at all. But yeah, I think the one thing for me about Fighting Force that stands out, like then and now, like playing it and going through it again and being reminded of it, was the weapons in the game, the variety of weapons, and the like availability of weapons. The fact that you can pick up basically anything in the environment, you can rip stuff off of walls. I think all of that stuff is still cool, still impressive, and still like a nice. Also, like if you're walking by a car or a car pulls up and a bunch of dudes jump out to fight you, you can just go punch their car a lot until it falls apart, and you can then attack people with the wheels. And I mean, yeah, as mentioned on the back of the box, there are sometimes rocket launchers inside of cars you can steal and have a good time with. And guns too. My favorite part about the guns in the game is everybody's gonna drop immediately. It's like such a powerful, just single shot, but I need to get like a shotgun later on, but even the handgun, like just a single shot, like biggest dude is gonna hit the ground right away. Not boss fights, but yeah.
It sounds good too. It has a good pop to them.
It's a good gunshot sound. It's really good. The other one I remember from playing when I was a kid that I always thought was cool was the vending machine. Like punching the vending machine, a soda comes out, you drink it, and it heals you. Like such a satisfying, like logic. You know, like sometimes in video games, there's video game logic, but not reality logic. And this one has that, and being able to just murder a machine until there's like 6 cans on the ground, and then drink them all for health boosts. Good time. Who did you play as this time around?
I played as Alana. I went for speed because I think as a kid I was Smasher a lot.
Oh yeah,
or a Hawk. You can see me being a Hawk too.
I swapped between Alana and Hawk. Basically, every time I'd game over, I'd swap to the other one and just keep rolling, or do another run. It's cool. Every character does generally fight the same, but there's stats to them, and they each kind of like, I don't know. They feel different enough. Like I feel like they feel significantly different enough to like warrant having a favorite, so to speak.
Yeah. Like a feel favorite or whatever.
Yeah. Would you say the game is as hard as you remember?
Aspects of it were. I was kind of breezing through most of it. I would say the first boss fight was like the first like major road stop for me. Yeah.
Driver.
Guy in the tanker jumps out or whatever. I had a note of it, but yeah. No, that was the only one. Honestly, I think that was. I'm not a big fan of the boss fights in this game, kind of period. But that one was the one that was just really like, ugh.
Yeah. Was there a go-to weapon? I mean, you don't always have the opportunity for a go-to weapon because it's kind of what you see is what you get. But was there one that you saw appear on screen that you were immediately like, yep, grabbing that real quick?
I mean, the gun, obviously, just so that way they wouldn't pick it up either and it turn around on you. No, I went for the lighter things because, like, picking up the crates, by the time you pick them up and throw them, they were, like, super slow and usually...
Always getting hit.
Yeah. So, like, the heavier stuff, like the you mentioned wheels earlier, like, picking those up is, like, a lift and it takes an extra second.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's usually not a good time. So I was usually picking up, like, what the police carry? Like the nightsticks, knives, like those types of things, to try to just have a weapon, but nothing where I'm like having to throw it all the time.
Yeah, I liked a good fire axe. I liked a good bottle. The fire extinguisher was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was alright.
Yeah. Overall, did you have like a standout level or section, whether that was like visually or just the way it rolled? Like, I know yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the first stage.
Yeah.
Is like the first stage, probably up until the point where you get like the CEO office and you have the final standoff with like the Wolverine girls.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was very well executed for a beat 'em up. Like, you move through the stage, you go into this gate area, and you have a final brawl there. The car comes in, you take out the people in the car, then you go in, and like you say, you have a big fight in the main lobby. Then you move through this like hallway towards the elevators, and go through the hallway, end stage, and you go up, and there's like a final standoff in the office as the final boss, or what ends up being the final boss, escapes the in a helicopter or whatever. And it was like a good setup of like, all right, yeah, this is a beat 'em up. You're moving from the stage to the stage to the stage. And then like the rest of the game just doesn't do that.
Yeah. You choose where you go, kind of, to an extent.
Right. But you're kind of like put in an area and you just kind of stay there for wave after wave after wave.
Yeah.
Which is a touch annoying in a beat 'em up, I would say, but because of the rest of the game being the way it is, the first stage really feels like that. Like, hey, you're moving through a level. Oh, the level is being dynamic and moving, or like, and you're moving around it, and they push you into a new situation, which gives you different items and things along that nature.
Yeah, and you're breaking down doors to get to the new sections, things
like
that. Yeah. Did they explicitly say that this is in New York?
Because
it certainly feels like it, but I don't remember it ever being like in there. Yeah, I don't know, it might be in the manual. For me, the train station level felt very New York, but also I like that a lot. And then the way that once you kind of choose your destination, then you're fighting on a train. I like the way they did the lighting in there with lights flickering on and off. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like that was
also
cool.
Yeah, and then any beat 'em up is gonna have at least one, if not more, elevator levels. Yeah, you can't not bring those on. Yeah. It's tough, man. Like, there's not a ton. You literally go from place to place. Yeah. You punch things until they're not there, and then more come and you punch them until they're not there.
I mean,
where does the gameplay switch up for you, or was there anything that stands out as different or odd?
I mean, the boss fights are probably the thing that make you think a little bit different. I would say like as you keep playing, the enemies will guard more, and you have to kind of mix in throws or grapples a touch more to break through their defenses or whatever. But man, if there was ever a time to use R2 and L2, it would have been cool to like map pick up weapon to that button instead of the punch button.
Yeah, I don't know why we were so like, I don't know, averse to using every button on the controller back then.
You have
Especially
two buttons.
once the controller expanded to a point where it had all of that. And yeah.
You have two buttons back there. One just screaming to be pickup item because punching over top of item was a nightmare. You like run around to like get away and circle the enemy.
And sometimes the way something would fall, you'd pick up the wrong thing.
Yep. Yeah. No, that was probably the most annoying part, like the button mapping, I would say. But what you have your standard fare, you have run, punch, kick, and then a back fist that kind of turns your character that you can combo into more punches or two kicks.
And I do like with the run, you can do a dive. You can try to do a dive kick, but there's also like, I don't know, little combos depending on your position and the enemy position and when you hit the button. There's little things like that happen.
Then you have run to the top. No, your run's on the jump is on the face button. Sorry. Jump is on the face button, run is up top, and then like a zoom out camera kind of thing is the other shoulder button. I forget which one's R1 and which one's L1, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, pick up weapon and throw weapon are mapped to like kick.
Kick?
No,
yeah.
to is it kick? Yeah, I guess it is.
Because I think it's X. And I think X is kick.
X is the swing, and then you have to hit square with that movement. I think it is, and then that tosses whatever you have. Because it'd be a classic gun moment. You're like, here's your 5 bullets, bang, 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 and you fucking toss the the gun at someone, and then it disappears into thin air, as PlayStation 1 games used to do.
Which is good though. Like any game that does a good weapon throw. Yeah, X, punch or use to pick up objects when your character is directly over them. L1 is your camera. R1, when using the directional buttons, lets you run. Triangle is your back fist. Or if you're close to someone, you can grab them with triangle.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then square is kick or discard object.
Discard object.
And circle's jump. Yeah. A great time.
Yeah, they didn't do like, not that I was screaming for platforming, but like using the 3D space and like ascending, like there was no like jumping on a platform to advance or anything like that. Like I feel like the jump is useless. I feel like I wasn't using it at all.
I don't really remember using it much.
Now, I think everyone had a move attached to jump, but like again, it just never felt, I don't know, useful. Yeah, and then I guess like that's kind of like my thing is like the move set. Like, yeah, there's some stuff. Like everyone has like a double kick kind of thing. Everyone has like a punch combo. Everyone has like that special move that uses life, which I still will never understand why that was ever a mechanic in video games.
I don't either. Like, and it sucks too because every time I start up Streets of Rage 2 is usually the one I go back to. I always forget whether it's A or C that does that move, and I do the wrong one. Yeah.
Looking at you,
Bad
Moonwalker, time. Michael Jackson.
Everybody's looking at Moonwalker. I do like the look of some of those things though. Like Hawk's got his like cartwheel or roundhouse kick rather. Yeah, they're neat.
And they're cool. Just defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, not worth it.
Because you're not finding enough hot dogs or sandwiches out of the pockets of the fallen.
No, but they're there. One thing I think we don't talk about enough when going back to games like this is loading times. And this one, I didn't feel like they were too bad. I don't know your experience, but
I didn't seem that bad.
No, you see the same loading screen every time, but the bar moves quickly enough. I feel like the fact that we're like pulling in these full 3D environments, I don't know.
I did highly enjoy though that, new game load cutscene in the environment of the first.
Most cutscenes are in engine, right?
Yeah, and then loading again. Like, we're going to a whole new scene. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, it's all right there. I would like, I'm not the programmer person, but I would think like you're right there. You have everything loaded in.
Yeah, just let it roll. Odd. Speaking of 3D environments, I think overall level design, like visually speaking, I like the way they've crafted the city and the way things look. It feels like what I would have imagined Streets of Rage would become, had Sega continued on with it. And I guess, I mean, this episode's coming out just a few days before the Keighley Awards, where all those Sega games were first announced a few years back. So maybe we get another look at Streets of Rage. Did we see Streets of Rage at all so far? Do we know if it's 3D this time?
I have no idea. I'm barely staying on top of the things I'm interested in. Not to say I'm dogging on Streets of Rage. It's probably, I don't see me playing that, especially on a day one.
Yeah, well, here's what I'll say. I think it was 3D. I finally picked up that Shinobi game that Sega put out this year. That they worked with Lizard Cube. It's super good. If you were sleeping on that and you have any interest in like a good type, Lizard Cube. Good type like platforming, action, semi-Metroidvania style kind of thing. The Shinobi is good. Would recommend. So if that's any hope for
happy to hear that.
Yeah, the rest of them. Jet Set, Streets of Rage, Golden Axe, and Crazy Taxi. Although with Crazy Taxi, what we know of it is that it's we've seen some police in there. I don't know how I feel about that element.
Not Too Crazy Taxi. Gonna be the name of the game.
Taxi. Keep it civil. Taxi is coming up. We talked about breakable stuff. Almost everything's breakable in Fighting Force.
You get the destruction bonus for doing it, and that's how you get points for continues, which you use to keep going when you die. Yep.
Because you will get a hard game over.
Yes, you will. Now, there are saving between, I think, not every stage, but every major, a level.
Yeah.
Usually, when you move from, when you get those opportunities to move from a stage to, a new area and you get the choice, usually there you get it. Yeah, and I think they were even nice in the last area, before the last stage, they threw you a bone and let you save, too.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. That was very nice of them.
Yeah, not every game of this era or of this type, because of the nature of a beat 'em up, would do that always.
Bro, Dark Souls doesn't do this still.
Well, yeah, no.
Not every game even helps you out nowadays.
Music is solid, I would say.
It's fine. I don't remember anything from it.
No, it's not stuff you can hum along to, but good ambient tracks. Stuff I feel is evocative of a good New York 90s vibe.
Yeah, I don't remember hating. I don't remember hating anything or any of that nature.
Yeah, no. Yeah, the only other note I had down here that we haven't talked about yet is, do you know the name of the title in Japan?
I do, and I can't recall it. Go ahead.
Metal Fist.
That's right.
Good name. I think the working title for it before it became Fighting Force was Judgment Force, and then in Japan, Metal Fist.
Yeah. Yep. That was it. I mean, I guess those people at the end with the electric fist. They had metal fist.
I guess that counts. Yeah.
You start dealing with those cryo boys.
Yeah. My notes are light, dude. I kind of hit.
I mean, there's not much. It's a game that works. Like, there's not a lot to be like mad about. There's also not a lot to be like they did it. Like, they really did something here, and I think that's coming through in our conversation here, because I'm the same way. Like, it's a fine game. It's playable. I don't hate it as much as I thought I would. I'm not looking forward to playing this ever again, but
yeah. No, and I bought 2 on Dreamcast not too long ago.
Now, we're not reviewing that game.
Bad. No, we're not going to touch that one.
I have played 2.
Yeah, 2's really rough. But this one's good. Like,
it's fine.
Like a fun little beat 'em up. Like, it's a good afternoon. But yeah, I think
2.
like the not 2. Opening up the podcast and talking a little bit about action movies, like it's how like an action movie is. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
yeah,
I watched it. It was a good time, and now it's over. I'm gonna go do something else. Not a crazy lasting impression.
Like, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think most of my hours were throughout the day with a couple runs, and like I'm not mad. I spent my day playing it, but I don't need to play it again anytime soon.
Yeah, no. I'm with you. Should we review this or rather rank this?
Sure can.
Throw it on the list. We sure do. freecheese.com/thelist is where you can follow along at home. If you're watching the video version, we've got it on the screen for you to follow along. And make some elections. I'm curious how close we are on this one. My vote for the list was 89.
89.
Above Zombies Ate My Neighbors, below Bomberman 93.
89. You're a touch higher than me.
What you got?
I have this as the new... I don't know if I refreshed this. Hold on. Sorry, Yeah, okay. I have this as the new 142 between Harvester and Batman Forever.
Ooh. Better than Batman, worse than Harvester.
Yes. I think my thinking for this, as I kind of like see what's in the gap, it is just the white piece of chicken breast, maybe with a little bit of barbecue sauce on top of it, and like that's it. And there's probably some games that I don't like that would be above my placement. That like I think I like Fighting Force better, but I kind of like the I don't know, they feel more unique. They went for something. It just didn't work.
I think that's fair.
Like some no, that's not a good example. Like Star Fox Assault, I think would be like a good example. Like Star Fox Assault, not my favorite game. Maybe kind of like vibe with Fighting Force a little bit more, but like Star Fox was trying to do so much in that game. Not all of it worked, but the stuff that kind of did work. It was kind of fun. PsyOps, same thing. Like that game's a mess, but it's a fun mess for a while. That's kind of like my thinking. And I think I kind of saw Metal Gear Solid on Game Boy, and then I saw Batman Forever, and I was like, this is definitely better than Batman Forever.
Are you sure though?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You're the one that got Batman up from the bottom of that list.
Rightfully so. Look at that. I made it jump 20 spots. Solid. We did that one live if you want to catch that one. That is all archived. No, I like it. I like where you're at. I like your reasoning for it. I think let's do that. Because it's definitely not a like bottom of the barrel video
No,
game.
it's not. And like again, we've said this a couple times in episodes where it's just like our list kind of just falls off a cliff around the 150 mark. Like everything 150 and above typically is like on the like it's worth playing.
Right, yeah. It's not like
It's not like a
this is a bad
gradual.
game.
Yeah, it's not like a steady slope. It just kind of starts turning. Right around
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, it just kind of starts turning into horrors. Which
I mean, yeah, once you hit that point, then you just stay away. But even then, I can find some. I don't know.
there is still stuff under there.
Yeah, Billy Hatch.
Like I would probably recommend games up until Lifeline and Killzone.
I would maybe recommend Lifeline. Maybe
If you hate yourself.
play Lifeline. I'm really bummed they didn't do that other one. The one I faked you out with.
Oh yeah.
Identify,
Yeah.
I think is what it was called. Where you were using the eye toy. Yeah.
What's the one on Dreamcast? I know you've been eyeing up how to do that, how to pull that off.
Which one?
The fucking seal. It's like isn't like the cover of the dude.
Oh,
with the seal?
Seaman?
Seaman, yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that
yeah,
a microphone
dude,
thing?
It is. I'm
Yeah.
close. I like. I've seen it, but like it's a lot to. It's not too bad. Like I think you can get the game for like between 80 and 100, and then I want like a good microphone, and I don't know that I'm gonna get one in like great condition. But yeah, it's probably gonna cost like the better part of $150 to get Seaman rolling, which worth it. Cause Seaman's like weird and prescient in odd ways, so I don't know. I kind of want to go back to it, have a little friend. But I feel like that's a perfect one to like put on a tiny CRT and just have a little aquatic friend hanging out with you, talking to you. Leonard Nimoy talking to you. Well, Fighting Force, the new 142. A lot of video games this year. A lot of video games.
Yeah, we're done.
We are. That's the end. But not the end of the season. We've still got 3 more episodes. Next week, we're going to do a weird thing, and we're going to go close out 2025 and the first quarter century by looking back at December of 2000, go through a video game magazine, and we'll look a bit at what has changed, what stayed the same. We'll answer some fan letters to people from 25 years ago. Yeah, we'll just have some fun, light, check out an old video game magazine. And then the last 2 weeks of the year is our 2-part finale, where we'll look back. One episode, we look back at the year's worth of podcast games. The other one, we look more at podcast or just general video game news and also the stuff we've played outside of the podcast. We'll also have the return of Matt's favorite annual pastime, which, if I recall correctly, this was your idea, but maybe not.
What the ranking thing?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. And if it was a lot more doable when it was like 80 games on this list.
True. But it shall return with 166 games on that list. Yeah.
All right, get the Lord of the Rings
was-
trilogy out, the uncut ones, and just have that
Get
on the
ready.
background while you rank.
There was for the listeners, let me see if it's still up, if I have the page live or if I took it down. But I think it was like 10, 15 years ago. It was a GameFAQs, like, vote on the best games ever made or something like that. And It was just a simple like HTML page with some JavaScript that like it had a list of games on the back end, and you would pick like left or right. You know what I mean? Do you like this one more than the other one? Choose your game, and you kind of go through round based until it's assembled your votes into a numerical list. And we took that. I modified the code so that it's our list of games. It's still live. thefreecheese.com/listvoting.html. So there's that. You can go there. By the time you're listening to this, it might not be up with the new games, but it also might be. And you can build your own list of video games. And Matt and I will be, of course, doing the same every year, annually, now until forever. This might be the last one. We'll see.
I have a feeling it might be the last one, because I think after this takes me 3 hours, I'm going to
It might not be that long.
throw out my veto card.
If I'm choosing... Yeah. I'm only 5 in. Hey, I'm 5 in and I'm 1% sorted. That's pretty good. The key is, I believe as long as you can make a decision and you're not saying, I feel the same way about both, you will continue to advance.
I think I did that the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I think I tied
takes a
one
while.
thing the last 2, well, I guess maybe only last year.
Yeah, it seems like every 5, I'm increasing a percentage point. So,
Okay.
500 rounds, roughly. Or no, 100
we'll see.
rounds. I don't know. It'll be up there. So yeah, we got all sorts of fun. And then season 14 will be here. We'll be able to start doing our predictions for 2026. We'll look back at our 2025 predictions and see what came right. And then the show continues. So there you have it. Until then, thank you all for hanging out. Thank you, Matt. Freecheese.com, podcast at thefreecheese.com is the email address. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.